Hi everybody, welcome to today's session. Ollie here. I'll be covering product housekeeping. If you've got any questions whilst I'm going through any of it, please speak to Steve on the YouTube chat, and he'll be available to answer any questions. Or perhaps if you want to wait till the end of the session, we can come to those at the end as well. Okay, so if I just log into Zaprima, first get my mouse first. There we go. Right, okay. So I'll be starting on a fairly new feature, which is within publications and the publication grid manager. So the new feature, if I just search for, if I just use an item code, it'll be a quicker search then. Right, so result and then change. Okay, so the new feature being update linked product code, description, image, and pack size. So it's a new feature to basically keep the catalog up to date, all the items, get all the product codes and descriptions, etc. updated as per the latest update as well. So that'll filter through to like your stock codes. The data files are becoming more frequent. So in a way, this is just made to kind of keep everything fresh in the system, especially for the web store as well. Any Prima Go users. This just makes sure all the pack sizes and the descriptions and images are correct on the web store as well. It also knocks on to EDI ordering, so if this is updated frequently, there's less likely of conflict between yourselves and the suppliers over like some pack sizes, for example. Okay, so you come into your search area, you search for your VAL, you leave the item code blank, but just for training purposes, you click search. In the result, then you can remove any that you don't want to, so you just right click, remove selected if it was more than one. You go to change, and then you just click the update link product code, description, etc., and then tick and apply, and then that'll update then all your product codes, descriptions, images, and pack sizes. So that's the first one for the product housekeeping. Second one being discontinuing products. So this is probably the main point of the product housekeeping, is making sure any products that aren't actually provided anymore by the suppliers are updated in the system and ensured that they're discontinued. So if we go to stock and products, and I'll show you first of all how to delete it one by one, and then we use the grid manager as well to delete multiple. So if I just search for an item, so KF24001, open the products, and then what you've got is your list of product statuses across the top here. So the obvious one, discontinued, click that. That'll then put a prefix in front of the name saying DIS, and then that will stop you from ordering and using this product in the future. So you can reinstate it as a product if you've done it by mistake. So to do that, you just close out the products, go to the status and search for all your discontinued products if you did it by mistake, for example. A reason why you couldn't discontinue a product, first possible reason is if you've got stock of the item. So as you can see here, we've got 11 physical, so until that's gone down to 0, you can't physically delete that item because you're still using it in the system. Another scenario could be if the item's on a sales order, for example. So if it's active in the system, it's going to prevent you from discontinuing that item. So another way to discontinue items in bulk, so the product main grid manager. Again, you'd search for multiple items, but if we just search for the one, just for saving time, so search for the item, go to result, you'd have all your items in the list, and then you'd change, and within here, where are we? Update product status to discontinued products, and then you click apply, and then that's updated as many products you've got in the grid to be discontinued. So a way to find out products that probably need discontinuing, you can do it within the grid manager there, doing the search function. But if you just click this coloured bar across the top, you go supplier not available. So if, say for example, Vow or Spice have discontinued a product, that'll then update accordingly, and then the item that's no longer included on the catalogue is going to have the supplier removed from the stock code as well. So you're searching for supplier available now, and then the PG number. So for those of you that are not aware of the PG number, that's just basically a system number in Prima. If it's negative, it's been created manually, so any home code you've created manually, that would be a negative PG number. Or a positive PG number is if it's been created from a catalogue. So you want to do positive PG numbers, that's come from the catalogue, and there's no supplier available as no. You then search for it, it'd pull through your list of items. You can go in one by one if you wanted to do that, or you could do it by the product main grid manager, performing the same search. So no supplier available, positive PG number, and then searching. So I won't conduct the search just because of the training database. It's probably got a load of items that are going to take a while with the grid manager. So that's just a way to discontinue in bulk, basically. Next point, so stock levels within Prima. So a way that some customers manage the stock is by sorting within the quantity available or physical here in the stock products grid, and then recently customers have raised the fact that they can't actually find items that they're saying is a stock item, if you like. So for example, this KF24001, you're constantly keeping stock of this item, but you can't remember all the items you keep stock of, so you want to make sure that you can locate those items. So within the product record, you've got these classifications across the bottom to help you identify items. So what you could do is, if you rename classification 1, which is within the administration, to be stock item, and anything you wanted to, you can put do we keep stock of it, or something along some sort of reference there. And then if you put the item to be yes, no, you can then assign this item to be a yes to stock. So then when you come into the stock products grid, you can search on that particular classification to then be able to say, well, all these items I've got stock of, I can locate them by using this classification. So I'll just re-explain that one again. I'm not sure if I've used a very good example there, but so what you would do is, if you've got multiple items in the grid, so just imagine now you've got some more items within there, you'd sort it by your stock here. Say for example this one's saying 0. Oh, that's because I put them search filters in. So if that was saying 0, you wouldn't want to assign that to the classification as a stock product that you keep stock of. So there's the word stock's getting thrown about a lot here. So if you keep stock of this item, then you can assign that classification to then be able to locate it at a later date, for example. That's what I'm trying to get at, basically. Okay. Classifications, that's another one as well. So in terms of keeping the products tidy, making sure all your products are set up correctly, you can search on classifications, you can search on not specified classifications, and then you can go in there and update those either through the grid manager or individually, product per product. So you just double click into the item, go to your classification, and then assign it to files, pockets, binders, plastic pockets, and then that'll help it to be located on the web store, for example. So just making sure classifications are set. So what you do, you'd have more than just one item in your search. You'd sort by classification, or alternatively you can search on classification as well. So you can go to your drop down, say, well, I want to have a find for everything that's not got something, so unclassified or unspecified, and then you can assign that to a classification then to make sure everything's where it should be. That'll then have a knock-on effect for your reporting and everything. So then if this KF24001 isn't against pockets and binders, then that's not going to be correct on your reports. Okay. Suppliers. So if we go over to the product main grid, so I'll start with this part. So if you've got any own codes and you need to assign a supplier against it, so perhaps a furniture company's give you 150 items to put into the system, you've imported those in and you just need to put a supplier against them. So what you could do, you can search for, they may give you a prefix of furniture or something, but if we just search for an item or multiple items using your classifications or something, you click search. Within the result, you can, again, if items that you don't need to update are in here, you can highlight and remove those, and then when you go to the change tab, what you've got here is add new supplier against it. So you can click the add new supplier. Kelly's web store's coming up, so you can now add a supplier against this product. When you've got a supplier assigned against it, I'll come on to this in the next step. Now you can assign terms to it as well. So instead of going into each product manually and updating the terms one by one, what you can do if the supplier's against it is a new feature where you can now apply the terms to the supplier as well. So if I assign Kelly's web store to this product, I can then assign terms that I've imported against the supplier Kelly's web store. So if I just close out of that and show you that, so it's within publications terms. So if I had an imported file here, I'd have my list of item codes I've imported and the pricing information. I'd choose my terms import. I'd select the supplier from the list, and then I'd click apply there. So as it's a test database, all the information is not very good, but all you do is you select your imported file. So if you had a list here, you click the one you wanted. You can see all the references of the item codes that pull through, and then you can assign it to a supplier there. That'll then update your pricing in bulk rather than going in one by one and updating it that way. Preferred suppliers, so the way that your pricing is updated from terms files coming into Prima, and then updating the stock code, so you need to ensure that the preferred supplier is set against the items. So to do that, if you go to stock, product suppliers grid manager, you'd search for preferred supplier that's not got one set, so there's nothing set against these items. You'd click search. So you'd start off with your preferred supplier. So if I did, I don't know, VOW or something. Just click search, I think it's that one. Click search against it. So this is now going to pull through all the items that have got VOW as a supplier against them. May need to be discontinued, so that's why you do that step first. Otherwise, you can go into here, make sure that it's been set. So you can see there's 15,000 items in the grid. You go to result. If, say for example, we didn't want those ones, we can highlight those, remove selected to get rid of those out of the grid, and you're not updating those items then, because you need to perhaps discontinue them. I'll remove selected records. Okay, and then you go to your change tab, and then you'd update then the preferred supplier to be VOW, and then you'd perform the same steps for your other suppliers, so your spices, your Antalis, etc., according to your priority ordering. Okay, so spinning around a little bit. Right, so I think it's because it's trying to pull through 15,000 items there, so I'll just log on with another user while that's having me off. Right, so okay, so the final point I'm going to come on to now of product housekeeping. So once you've done all these updates, you've discontinued items, you've made sure the suppliers are set against them, you then would probably need to update your contracts if you're using contracts quite often. So you go to contract grid manager. So what we're going to do now is we've just discontinued KF24001, for example. We now need to replace this on customers' contracts. So where are we? Oh, I wanted to the contact grid manager there. Sorry, contract grid manager. Okay, right. So product code KF24001, of course. Hit enter. Go to result. You can see what's come up. So if you were doing it in bulk, you can see all the contracts that have shown up. So we're updating all of these. We then click change, and then you've got two options from here. So you can either remove it from the contract, so this customer can't no longer use this on the contract, or you can replace it with another item. So if you were to replace it, the pricing may change slightly depending on the cost of the other item. So if we replaced it with a spices item or a different VOW item or whatever, if, say for example, the previous cost of the item was £10, the cost is now £12, that's then going to update the selling price according to that £2 that's the difference. So it's a bit of like a margin kind of working out the price against the item as you've replaced the item on the contract. So make sure you're keeping the same margin basically. Okay. So yeah, I think that's pretty much everything in terms of product housekeeping we wanted to go through. So we wanted to keep it quite brief today. But if you've got any questions, please hop onto the live chat and we can answer those. For next week's session, if you've got any topic suggestions, please throw those onto the YouTube chat or drop us an email, me or Steve, and then we can log those onto the Prima Help Twitter for everyone to vote for. We'll take all the suggestions on board as well, so if we get them all through, perhaps if we don't use them this week, we'll use them next week, and then we can vote for next week's webinar then. Okay. Well, yeah, thank you all for your time today. Hope you're here again next week, and we'll have a good weekend. Thank you.